I've got something to share with you, of course. And I'm like, oh my fucking God, how and why is this only coming through now? Or okay, let me share this. So this power of focus, this is like a no-brainer, but it's like something massive has shifted, that's for sure. And I feel like I've got myself back. Thank goodness, because that was a bit of a huge recalibration that I didn't think I was ever going to come back from. That was massive. It was massive. There's been a lot of people that have been going through a big recalibration at the moment. And, you know, I was sharing with my inner circle clients just last week. Was it last week? Yeah, I think middle of last week. And it was just so clear that there's a group of us on the collective at the moment, and we're being like picked up, carried across, like picked up from one timeline, carried across, and we're about to come down. We're getting closer. Like sort of the other day it was about here, and it just feels like we're about to hit the ground running. Whatever that means, I don't know what that means, but we can all feel it. There's quite a lot of us that can feel it. And that like being picked up and pulled across and put on another timeline is like a different, I don't know what that means, but as a collective, there's so many of us that can feel that like in a big way. And it's really clear. It's really clear. Those of us that have been feeling it have been feeling really clear. Like everything is crumbling and like falling away and disintegrating, and people dropping out of our life, and like life direction changes. But we've been feeling so grounded, so clear, and so at peace. Like internally, it's like this internal bubble, and the world's like chaos outside. And we're like holding this vibration that anything that is not that vibration is almost like, if you imagine your aura on the outside edge of your aura, anything and anyone that comes in that is not this new vibration is like hitting it and disappearing, disintegrating and burning up in it. No, like literally like disappearing. Like they come in, bounce off, and then like disappear. Like that's literally like the energy of it. And it's so interesting, this about to hit the ground running, like picked up from the old timeline and put on this new timeline, whatever that means, right? I think as a collective, I do believe there's a combination of the eclipses and this eclipse season, the last 2 months really of it. And I think we've still got about another 10 days, a week to 10 days of coming out of the energy of it, right? It's almost like, okay, waiting for the start of June, because it's like we can feel the energy shift, that it keeps shifting. And there's these points on the timeline that are really like letting go of, like the old timeline is so distinct. It's so distinct. Like it's so tangible. And I'm so curious if you guys have been feeling this too, right? So back in February, I downloaded, got the ideas, intuitively was guided to do, I was working on throat chakra consciousness, and it came through to do like a 21-day quantum trauma shifter. And for some reason, I was doing other things, and that was sort of the next project to do, right? And for some reason, it just hasn't felt right. And this 21-day quantum trauma shifter would have been like a 3-week program, like going in, like, you know, doing the quantum trauma shifter things, right? Now, it just hasn't felt right. And even back then I was like, okay, we're going to do it on the eclipses. Like that was the message back in February. And then as the eclipses, I was like, oh, way too heavy to do on the eclipses. Like, you know, the 21-day quantum trauma shift, I was like, too heavy to do. Like, you know, and then I'm like, ultimately 21-day quantum trauma shift is not really what I believe either. Like, you know, to really heal core wounds on a like cosmic, on a grounded level that truly shifts something at a core level. That's what I was looking for, core. sure, you can snap your fingers, but there's an unraveling to that, and that's way deeper than 21 days, right? And I've been sitting with it because I'm like, oh, but the energy that was coming through for it. And then I almost like, I opened Transcendence Reality Society, and I'm like, it's transcendence, but transcendence we only do every 9 months, which is coming up in January. And then with like this shift over the weekend, and then reopening, keeping the doors open for Life Purpose Accelerator and dropping the price. And it was this huge like recalibration to this frequency. And then I was like, oh my God. And Master Manifester is the epitome of the 21-day quantum trauma shifter. And like, I was like, this makes total sense to me. I didn't want to sit there in the trauma, focusing on the shit. It's a bit like the post that I found last night. I was like, oh my God, this explains it. Because I just get so tired and annoyed of the world shit. And it's like, people have you done an update on the world shit? And I'm like, oh my God, I just can't be bothered with it. And it's like, you know, the post I posted last night, I was like, no amount of research is going to do the shadow work for you. The biggest rabbit hole isn't the satanic pedophile rings, digital ID chips, or even being in the iconic loose farm. It's you. It's fucking always been you, right? You are the biggest secret. The internal work that is what brings real change. And I'm like, and it got me thinking, I was like, what the fuck? Like, I've been challenged out here with darkness like you would not believe on this land. Like, this massive. There's not many people who would ever face what I've faced out here. And in that, it's like this transformation, I just had the biggest epiphany. Because before, like when I left my old place and I went on that 5-month road trip, I went into so much darkness. Like I went down into winter, into the ice fucking cold, and into so much darkness. And I feel like after this eclipse season, over the last couple of weeks, I'm like, I feel like I've just come out of the tail fucking end of it. And I'm like, oh my God. Because even when I first moved here, I didn't want to keep talking about trauma. I didn't want to keep talking about toxic relationships. I didn't want to keep talking about all that shit. Like, fuck. Like, it's just like repeating it, bringing it up again. Like, sure, we need to go in and heal trauma. Like, there's definitely that. And then there's a time for just not talking about it. There's a not, like, you know, your life purpose doesn't involve repeating the same toxic shit, verbalizing over and over again. There's a time for healing, and then there's a time for actually consciously shifting that. And Master Manifester is like the epitome of the 21-day quantum trauma shifter transformed. Like, this is what I was just like, no wonder it didn't feel right to do a 21-day quantum trauma shifter. Like, and like we just shifted it. This like timeline that we've been picked up from, traveled across, and put the fuck down on, like we're almost there. This is what, like, this is the thing. And that's why I'm like 21-day quantum trauma shifter just didn't feel right. I was just like, I don't want to, like, that's not the focus. And then it's like brought me back alive, because I'm like, I was always the one who thinks outside of the box. I was always the one who was so alive. I was always the one on the beach. The happy Hannah, freedom, like as my client said the other day, like, you know, so in her power, so in herself, you know, freedom, happy, loving Hannah self. And I'm like, yeah, where the fuck's she gone? Oh, she's just come back. Why? Because I'm not focusing on the fucking trauma anymore. I'm like, oh, talk about a recalibration and a you know, coming into where you're meant to go. That's outside of the fucking box. You have never, ever, ever been inside the box. And when you try and go in there, your soul fucking dies. That is not where you belong. That is not how you do reality. That is not where you came from. That is not what you're here for. That is not what you're here to repeat. Like, you are here to be bigger than your dreams. You are here to be out there in the world, inspiring people, putting them on their path, on the name of their purpose, and getting them to pull their dreams out of the closet and fucking chase them. That is what you are here for. That is what shifts the world, is you coming into your full heart and soul and purpose and being able to like move in that direction. That is what creates the miracles. That is what moves you to that place. When we're focused, like bogged down in it. And that's why this master manifester is like bringing your dreams to life. Like this is like no more hiding, no more putting it on the shelf, no more excuses, no more this, no more that. This is like, this is what you've always been born for. So what have you been waiting for? We're in a brand new cycle right now. And it's like another like 10 days, as I said, 7 to 10 days. And we're about to pop into that reality. So master manifester. Early bird is this week, and then it will go up. We don't start till the 14th of June. So this like space of time is this anchoring and recalibrating to really coming in. And I'm so excited. Like this isn't just about manifesting stuff. This is about remembering who the fuck you are. This is about bringing your spark back, your passion, the part of you that you put on the shelf because you didn't know what to do with that. This is the part of you that had been shut down. This is the part of you that's lost your voice. This is the part of you that's been rejected. This is the part of you that's shifted out of your people pleasing and come into a place where you're like trying to anchor and how do you do it? This is the part of you that you were born to be. This is what master manifester is all about. Sure, we're going to do some mindset work. Sure, we're going to, manifest some things, but this is about fully pulling your passion back to you and opening your heart and coming back onto path. 100%. If you're needing to get back on path and stop letting the trauma hold you down, bottle you down and cap you down, master manifester is for you. I'll pop the link in the comments. If you've got any questions, send me a message. Wanted to jump on and share this because the energy has completely shifted. And I'm like, fuck, Hannah's back. Thank fuck, because I was worried when she'd gone for a bit there. But I'm so excited because this is who I am. See you there.